Kimimaro tilted his head slightly as he looked at his reflection in the water. Defeated, alone, eyes stared back. He raised his head to look over the still pond when something caught his eye. A flower. It was small, silver, and alone. He stepped over to it, examining it softly. It was alone, like him. Was he like this flower? It was the same color as his hair. It was alone. And it was weak. He glared at nothing. How he hated being weak. He went to stab the flower with a bone knife when a small hand caught his wrist. He stared in stunned surprise at the small figure in front of him. The boy had to be at least 2 years younger than him. He had limp blonde hair, an icy blue eye, and an eye patch. Wearing an odd outfit, he gave Kimimaro a blank look. Leave it be, it won't live long anyways. Kimimaro swallowed and allowed the bone to sink into his hand. He gazed at the boy with respect. He could see it. He could see the strength in his eyes. He could see the pain the boy was put through and the strength he used to get through it. He could see the power in the boy. "What's your name?" the boy asked. "Kimimaro Kaguya," he breathed. I heard the Kaguya were all slaughtered. I survived." The boy reached up and stroked his pale cheek slightly. Kimimaro instantly melted. No one had ever shown him a kind touch or asked for his name. He leaned into the hand. Both hands held his pale cheeks and forced him to look down into one lone blue eye. "How would you like to come with me, Kimimaro?" Kimimaro fell to his knees and stared up the foot distance into the boy's eyes. "You would let me?" he begged. He wanted to go with the boy who had shown him kindness. He'd do anything for the boy with the kind touch. He didn't want it to be a dream. He didn't want the boy to leave him alone again. "Yes. Do you wish to?" "Please," he breathed. He knew it was sad his loyalty could be bought so easily with just a kind word and touch, but he had never had either. The boy just smiled slightly. "Stand up, Kimimaro. You aren't my servant. I'll do anything," he repeated. "Just let me go with you." The boy just smiled. Kimimaro just closed his eyes, then looked up at the boy. He felt like a child in front of an elder. His suffering wasn't even close to this boy's. "What is your name?" he asked, eyes downcast. "Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki." Suddenly the boy whistled. A huge white tiger strode from the tree, gently padding across the grass. Kimimaro didn't even flinch. He trusted the boy. He didn't know why. He just felt he could be trusted. Besides, if the boy killed him, at least he would escape the cruel world. The boy just gently tugged him till he was standing. Then the boy moved to the tiger and slid onto its back. Kimimaro wondered if he was to run beside it. He would, though. Then the boy held out a hand. "Come on, Kimimaro." Kimimaro took an unhesitant step towards the tiger and grasped the hand. "Yes, Lord Naruto," he breathed. The boy opened his mouth at the title, then shut it with a smirk. Then Kimimaro was dragged up on the white beast, behind his master. Naruto held the outfit up for Kimimaro to see. The 15-year-old Kimimaro looked at it before looking at him. "Do you like it?" "Yes," Naruto said. "I'll take it then." Naruto just watched the boy. He was loyal, very loyal. They had only known one another a week, and the kid was all ready to die for him. Is that how I would have been, willing to do anything for some kindness, some attention? He shook the thought off and paid for the outfit before shoving Kimimaro into a changing room. When the Kaguya stepped out, he wore a deep blue kimono over a fishnet shirt and some black pants. He also wore black ninja sandals and 2 black ties holding the longer pieces of hair. Naruto nodded and headed for the door. The boy instantly followed like a puppy. Naruto spun into the group of people, spear flashing and blood flying. The air was split with screams and yells. By the time Naruto stopped moving, he was slick with blood and had killed at least 20 men. Kimimaro beside him had killed about the same amount and was also dripping in the red liquid. The boy still wore that expressionless look, and Naruto could sense no bloodlust from him. That's what made him different from the others of the Kaguya. Every ninja that had seen them fight or fought them said that even a civilian would be able to sense their blood and battle lust. Many called it their curse, as it was like a madness. Kimimaro seemed not to have inherited it. The boy calmly let his bone sword sink into his arm and looked back at Naruto to make sure he wasn't hurt. Then he pulled an arrow from his leg. It was the only thing that would have hit Naruto as he leapt into the fray, and Kimimaro had taken it for him. The boy was loyal, that was for sure. Never questioned him and just did as he was told. Naruto did not regret taking him in. "Where are we, Lord Naruto?" Kimimaro asked. "Coral," Naruto answered. Coral was a very large city. It wasn't the nicest though. It was also on the coast. It had pirates, thieves, rogue ninjas, bandits, gamblers, prostitutes, and a huge number of shady people. If you didn't know your way around, or you weren't very strong, you would find yourself robbed and dead. Very wealthy people also went there, with guards of course. If you wanted something, it was here. It was pretty much one large black market. Naruto just found it interesting. "And what are we doing here?" Kimimaro asked. "Sightseeing, relaxing, browsing," Naruto said absently. He had sent Akira back to the forest. The summoning seal he had on his arm was, of course, two-way, and sealed his spear in a scroll. Looking dangerous, could attract battle junkies and bring attention to himself. At the moment, he looked like a rich kid with a guard. He had changed into an icy blue silk yukata along with soft slippers, and a black eye patch with silver lining. He did have a lot of money, so it wasn't completely an act. Kimimaro just wore the clothes he usually did. If it looked like two rich kids were together with no guard, it would draw a lot of attention also. Kimimaro just did whatever Naruto asked. "So, were we just visiting?" the boy asked, confused. "I guess you could say that." Naruto slid his hands into his sleeves and glided down the road, Kimimaro following respectively behind. Naruto kept his face utterly blank even as the wind pushed against him. She was wearing very little clothes, showing her ample chest, her pale skin, and her curves. Her long black hair was wrapped into a knot and she purred into his ear. She pressed against his chest, hanging from his neck. "How about some fun?" she cooed. Kimimaro off to the side looked confused on what he was to do, like he didn't know if Naruto would like the company or not. Naruto calmly looked down at the woman with his one blue eye, and she cringed back, quickly letting go and stumbling off. Kimimaro just watched calmly. "Please keep them off me," Naruto said simply. Kimimaro gave a nod. He paused as if unsure. "You do not like women?" Naruto was partially surprised by the question. The boy rarely asked questions, and never any personally. "I like women. I just dislike whores." Kimimaro gave a slight nod and didn't question him anymore. After going to the hot springs, Naruto had a run-in. Naruto idly shrugged off the thief who had been threatening him. Before the man could slit his throat with a knife against Naruto's throat, obviously, Kimimaro appeared behind him, slamming his own knife in the man's back. The man gurgled before he fell in a heap, clawing at the knife sticking out the front of his chest by an inch. As the man died, Kimimaro pulled the knife out and wiped it on the man's clothing before swiping all his weapons and valuables. Naruto gave Kimimaro a brief nod of his head and then slid his sleeve up his arm so he could see his summoning tattoo. He searched along the seals until he found the one he wanted. He swiped some blood over it, and in a puff of smoke, Akira appeared. Naruto repeated the process and a large dark gray wolf appeared. Only half the size of Akira, but still large and powerful. Akira purred under his hand and the wolf nuzzled Kimimaro. His animals had slowly gotten used to the pale boy, and this specific wolf had taken a liking to him. Naruto jumped onto Akira's back while Kimimaro slid onto the wolf's back. "We're heading east," Naruto announced. "I need to return to Konoha in 7 months, and I have a few places I wish to see before then." Kimimaro just bowed his head, and the two animals took off quickly in the eastern direction.